Okay, go grab your band because we are going to be using it to build up strength, but also we're going to be working through rotation. So especially if you want to sort of strengthen up and mobilize your back a little bit more, then this is perfect for you. First exercise that we have is a wood chop. So I'm going to set you up for this. We are going to place the band on the mat behind us. Our back foot is going to come on, toes only, heels are going to come up, and we're going to take a big step forwards with that front leg. You want to hold that band roughly in front of you with a little bit of tension, and with the legs we're just going to come down and up, and with the arms we're going to sweep it all the way up. Let's go. Our timer has started. So follow along. Sometimes it's easy just to get started with a move and adjust as you go. So as I'm coming down, I've got a bit of slack through that band, and as I'm coming up, there is some more tightness. So you can change this resistance. Try and keep your balance. And what we're looking to do is as we come round, we've got a bit of a twist, so my upper part of the body is facing this side, and when I finish, it's facing more out here. So it's almost like I am turning it 180 degrees, almost like a half circle, okay? We're going to do that same side again, and then we'll switch over. Ready? Into position, back heel up and off the ground. Might want to tweak with your tension a little bit, and this is a reverse wood chop with a band. So imagine you're kind of like chopping upwards, or like a golf swing, but like an upwards golf swing. Either way, the hands come in as we bend that knee, and we stand and push it away from us. So you might also feel this working through the back of the leg, through the calf muscle as well. It's totally fine. If it feels like it's too much through the legs for you, it's a little bit too intense, then you can take that foot in slightly, and you don't need to come into a full-on lunge. So try and see what works best for you. Change over legs. Now with this one, another pointer is to try and keep the shoulders relaxed as you lift upwards. Don't forget that heel off the ground, sinking down, twisting through and up. So sometimes as we try and lift and the band up diagonally, we feel like we want to have a little bit of extra effort. So our shoulders get involved. And our shoulders are like, right, we've got it here. Now I'm just going to lift up a little bit extra. That's not what we're after. We want to try and keep those shoulders nice and relaxed, which everyone always kind of rolls their eyes at, because you are essentially using your arms, and your arms are attached to your shoulders. But try and keep some space between your ears and your shoulders when you're doing this. So you want to avoid any of this. Just puts extra tension through the neck. 10-second break, and then we're going to come back on it again. 3. Let's get set up into position. 2 and 1. Now, this is working through the core. We've got some of that rotation. Core involves the abdominal muscles, the back muscles, and our arms are also getting a look in as well. Oh, and our legs too. Look at us. We've got a fantastic full body exercise that is working everything. Breathe out as you lift up. Just over 10 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Nice one. So, next exercise that we have, we're actually going to take it down to the ground. So I want you to come into a kneeling position, and we're going to take this into a standard Pallof Press. So that band is going to come out towards the side. You are going to take one foot out like this. Whole of your body should be upright. This is just there to anchor it. And once it is firmly anchored underneath your foot, you're going to create some tension through the band. Hold it here in front of you. As you breathe out, you push away. Breathe in as it comes back up. Let's go. Again, with this one, try not to get those shoulders involved. If you feel like your shoulders are shrugging up to help push it away from you, then release a little bit of tension through the band. Maybe start with this with a lot less resistance than you anticipate, just so you can get this movement, and you want to try and focus on building up that strength gradually. So as you're pushing this band away, it should be following directly in front of your chest. Imagine you've got like a stick between your boobs and you just want to press it straight out in front and back down again. So this is good. The reason why we're doing this is because it's anti-rotation. Let's change over to the other side. So as well as getting some rotation in, working on anti-rotation is also very important. Anti-rotation is part of our core stability, and it helps us with things such as, you know, if you trip over something and you stop yourself falling. So some of that will be this anti-rotation core stability coming into play. Did I mention it's really hot today? It is like 30 degrees. So if you see the occasional drop of sweat coming off me, I'm so sorry. But last 10 seconds. And in just a second, I'm going to show you how you can upgrade this exercise. 3, 2, and 1. So get set up for the other side. And all we're going to do with this is we're going to add in a little bit of a hip thrust. So we're going to sit down, and as you come up, you're going to press that band away. Now make sure this is really firm underneath the heel. If you place it underneath the arch of the foot, guess what? You have an arch of the foot, which doesn't often stay flat to the ground. Now if this is painful through the knees, then you can just double over your mat, or you can put something else underneath it. Last 20 seconds. If this doesn't feel right, then you can just focus on that movement. Otherwise, we can get some of this hip thrust in. Breathing out as we push away, breathing in as we come back down, keeping some space between our ears and our shoulders. Now let's change over sides. So just then I was like, you know when you get part of your kneecap was kind of doing it right on a little knobbly bit on this bench. So let's see if I can have it. So it's not doing that. So on this floor, we have decking, and the problem with this is that the boys are desperate to feed what I call the bastard squirrel. And I call it the bastard squirrel because it essentially just eats loads of things that I plant. And it's super cheeky, but the boys every now and again will come out and leave it like little food offerings. It's kind of like the god of the balcony. And I was doing a workout the other day, and I was like, why is it so painful? And I realised that there was a whole bunch of dried pasta underneath my mat that I just hadn't seen. And that is the end of that one. So we're going to stand up. Standing up, get your legs into this kneeling position, tuck that toe under, breathe out, push off both legs equally to come back to standing. So with this band, we're going to get it behind our back, coming underneath our armpits, and we want to hold it in our fists, okay? We're going to take a stance where our feet are both facing forward, slight bend through these knees, and we're going to take it into boxing. So with boxing, we want to punch out in front of us, we're going to rotate through the body, come back in, punch the other side, and roll. Don't forget that roll. Let's go. We have got a punch, punch, roll, change arms, punch, punch, and roll the other way. Roll is almost like a bit of a squat, but yeah, imagine it as just a little bit of a squat with a slight curve to it. So if you're looking at my head, we're punching, and it's almost like a little circle that I do to get myself back up to the original place. So when we do this, we're not bowing down, we are doing a bit of a mini squat. Then with these punches, try and get some rotation through the core, and always try and focus on what you're punching. So something in the middle of you. Hands up. Are you ready? 3, 2, and 1. Punch, punch, roll. Punch, punch, roll. That's it. So we don't have to go out, don't have to go all out, and I don't want us to overextend. Just focus on taking the arm out and back down again. You can speed it up. Punch, punch, roll. Punch, punch, roll. Try and get some of that rotation through the back. So you're constantly staying straight upwards, so there's no kind of head going to one side. The head stays where it is. And imagine we're on a line and it's twisting backwards and forwards. The head stays where it is. 10-second break. If it's hot while you're doing this, make sure you do get some water, okay? Punch, punch, roll. Punch, punch, and roll. So, when you are boxing, here's a little tip for you. It's really important that you turn those knuckles. So your hands are going to be like this, but as you punch, you're turning through those knuckles. If you really want to get with it, you'll also tuck that chin in, because what you don't want to do is to get a punch that flips your head up, because A, it's really painful, B, it's really bad for you, and it's pretty much going to just knock you straight off your feet. So you want to keep that chin down. You want to look up with the eyes, nice and coy. Imagine you're flirting. Flirt with me. Are you ready? Do you like boxing? I think boxing is such a good exercise to do, but what people don't realise is that it can be quite challenging through the pelvic floor, mainly because people tend to hold their breath quite a lot because they're trying to generate force through the punches. So as long as you're breathing out through the punches, then we're all good. And like with boxing, just relax. Relax the shoulders, make that movement nice and flowy. You do not want to be punch, 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 punch. So make things flow. Movement is a dance. To get all like martial artsy on you. It's supposed to be like a river. Let it flow. How are we doing on these? That is the end of that one. Last one we have. We are going to get rid of the band for now. And it's another one that's going to work through rotation. So we're going to take those feet out nice and wide. We're going to come down into a sumo squat. You're going to breathe out. We're going to shift over our weight, push off one leg. And as this one comes up, you're going to reach out forwards and this other arm comes back. And we're just going to focus on this one side. And what we're looking to do is to get this knee up in front of us so we can also create a nice twist through the body. Are you ready? We come down into that squat, generates the power to push up and press forwards. So you want to have that rotation. Imagine you're pushing someone or something away from you. As you do so, this other shoulder comes back too. This actually reminds me of when I used to work in advertising, and there was a lovely guy there called Ben, and he said, oh, I know, let's go out for like dinner and drinks. And I was like, awesome, sounds great. I think he thought it was a date. I hadn't even thought that he would be thinking like that. And we went to a Korean place. So we're going to change over this time. Sorry, the cat is on where the camera is. It's right, she's going to settle down soon. So we're going to change over. Okay, so now when we squat down, it's the opposite arm that pushes away. And so we went on this date, well, dinner and drinks. We got absolutely like hammered, mainly because we're in this Korean place, and in Korea it is a sign of respect that you pour the other person's drink, so you shouldn't really be pouring your drink. And this guy didn't really get this, so I kept topping up his drink. And as we were walking like to the station or something, he basically did this weird thing. It was quite dramatic. He kind of like stopped, pressed me up against this wall and tried to kiss me, and I just went, no. And we had like a really embarrassing like 10 seconds where he was like, no, and I was just like, no. And then it was a bit like properly awkward, but we're fine now. Not that we're actually friends now. Okay, change over. We're almost done. And then you'll be free from my terrible dating story. So the thing to focus on here is just getting a nice bit of rotation. But again, don't focus on making these moves absolutely perfect. Just get that breathing going, get a rhythm going. And most of all, enjoy it. I like pushing away from me with the heel of my hand, because I also feel like it gives the upper part of my arm a sort of a nice stretch. Last one, over to the other side, and then we're done. So this hand, this foot. Let's start squatting down and then rotate. If you want to make this even more challenging, then what you can do is you can have a band. So you're actually doing a bit of a pull out with the band as you do this. It's a bit like this. So we come down, you pull back, down, pull back, or you can grab some light hand weights. I'd say 0.5 to 1 kilos, absolutely perfect. Almost done. Last 5 seconds. And that is it. You have got some amazing rotation through that back, and we're trying to get some more of that mobility and flow through our movements going. Apologies for the cat that is sitting on this table. I thought she would move. Hope you're not too seasick. Well done.